Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Matrix Resurrections is back in the press. Why? Because the producer is suing over the box office. Yep. It's another Scarlett Johansson Black Widow situation all over again. And it's incredibly comedic. This is when, the industry just starts chewing each other up. It's your fault, it's my fault, it's yours, it's yours, it's yours. Just everything hits the fan. And, yeah. It's not the fact that it was released on HBO Max as to why it took bad profits. It's because it's a garbage film. And it got out that it was garbage incredibly quickly. So that's why. I mean, it's really as simple as that. The producer should never have greenlit this film. The producer was aware of what the script was. They would have seen it. And they're just looking to recoup some of their loss, which would have been astronomical. Because remember, ladies and gents, this film cost, just on the production budget, $200 million. Double that, right? The marketing on top of it, of which they had a lot of marketing. So, $150 million for that, easily. Yeah, they're at a huge loss, monumental loss. This is it was the biggest loss of last year, easily. So let's dive into this today, ladies and gents. Got an article here that was sent to me over on Twitter, so thank you so much. Matrix producer sues over the film's dismal box office. So funny. And I like this as well. I like how this has been framed. The long-awaited new Matrix film was a box office flop. It wasn't long-awaited. It wasn't long-awaited at all. Loads of people were just like, why are you even making this? Why bother? And then, leaks started coming out. And look, at the end of the day as well, like, one of the trailers was actually pretty decent. But, when you know what happens in the film and it starts to line up, you're like, ugh, it's not good. And now things are turning nasty behind the scenes. So let's take a look. Let's actually see what's happening, shall we? So the Matrix Resurrections co-producer, Village Roadshow Entertainment Group, is taking Warner Brothers to court over its dismal debut. Now, this is essentially what would have happened with Legendary and Warner Brothers. If you don't know, remember Warner Brothers just announced that they were releasing everything on HBO Max, right? And when they did that, Legendary was like, "No, you what? You've not consulted us. You've only got a 25% stake in our film. We don't accept that. That's not okay." And they threatened legal ramifications for it, because not only that, they already had offers for Godzilla vs. Kong, and they didn't want Dune just to end up on HBO Max. It was a big cluster. But at that point, when those proceedings were starting to happen, those talks were starting to happen, you'd have thought that Village Roadshow Group, Entertainment, whatever, would have had some words at the same time, but apparently not, which is just interesting, right? So here we go. The production company has alleged that the film's distributor breached contract when they decided on a dual release in the US. Which, again, this is identical to the argument which Legendary had. Distributor is a co-financier, co-producer, but they don't make the film. They just distribute it normally. But, Warner Brothers would have had some say in this production as well. It's not like the Legendary situation, but same with the argument being used for court anyway. So the dual release in cinemas and to stream on HBO Max. According to a complaint the Wall Street Journal reported was filed in the Los Angeles Superior Court on Monday. So, it's already there, like, the filing's already happened. In fact, Warner Media ordered its entire 2021 roster to be released on their sister platform HBO Max, while moving up the release date for The Matrix Resurrections from its originally scheduled 2022 premiere to December 21. Lawyers for Village Roadshow claimed in the filing, reported by Page 6. Now, here's what they say. Remember what film we're dealing with here. Remember, because this film was, it was objectively trash. Obviously, subjectively, some people liked it, but objectively, it was pretty trash. Technical terms like camera movements, effects, and things like that, it was quite bad. So just remember that when we go through with what they're claiming the film is and the potential and stuff, right? Warner Brothers' sole purpose in moving the release date of The Matrix Resurrections forward was to create a desperately needed wave of year-end HBO Max premium subscriptions from what it knew would be a blockbuster film. You know the term blockbuster? Do you know where that comes from? It comes from the fact that the ticket office of cinemas, you would have a queue around the block because it was so popular. And then thus the term coined blockbuster. They thought this film would be a blockbuster. From what it knew would be a blockbuster film. Come on, stop patting yourself on the back. This film was bad. Despite knowing full well that it would decimate the film's box office revenue and deprive Village Roadshow of any economic upside that Warner Brothers and its affiliates would enjoy, the suit stated. Now again, it's really important to point out here is I don't think Village Roadshow are that stupid. Like, I think they're aware that this film was crap and it was it didn't do very well because it's crap, but they're looking for someone to blame. You know, they've got finances there as well, partners, financial investors and things like that, and their heads are rolling, and this is just lashing out to try and recoup something. It makes perfect sense that would be the case. Village Roadshow also claims to be the victim of rampant piracy facilitated by the streaming release. I mean, I agree that is the case. That would have happened. Adding that Warner Brothers could have foreseen the potential consequences that come by distributing this marquee picture on a streaming platform on the same day as its theatrical release, and move forward with plans anyway. The fourth Matrix installment, starring Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, grossed a paltry $10.7 million during its open weekend in America. That is just so fucking bad. A fraction of what the preceding trilogy achieved, despite showing in more cinemas than ever before. It's because it's bad. So the lawsuit comes as the latest in an ongoing debate within the industry over a recent shift to prioritise direct-to-consumer streaming apps during the pandemic, which all but shuttered cinemas globally for nearly 2 years. I mean, it's not going to happen. You can't get away, with this for long because, again, like I said, when this whole debate started happening, was you can't move to streaming because they never get the money. You can't get the money that you can from cinemas, and thus they either downsize the productions or this stuff happens. You just cannot facilitate such big mega films when you're just releasing them on streaming. It doesn't work. Case in point, all of this. Really case in point. So in a statement for the Wall Street Journal, a spokesperson for Warner Brothers has said that the production company has overstepped their contract's arbitration clause within the suit, with the suit itself. This is a frivolous attempt by Village Roadshow to avoid their contractual commitment to participate in the arbitration that we commenced against them last week. We have no doubt that this case will be resolved in our favour. I mean, if they've broken contracts, yeah, it will be. I mean, it's cut and dry with contracts, to be honest, so yeah. Warner was previously in hot water over its decision to release 2021 lineup for streaming and was forced to negotiate contracts with much of its talent. As a result, costing the studio more than $200 million. But they were lucky, they were happy enough to do it. They did it. However, The Matrix Resurrections was apparently excluded from those talks. That's not good. I don't know why that would have been the case. Village Roadshow has also alleged that Warner Brothers means to cut them out of their future endeavours involving shared interests. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're giving them shit movies, why would they work with you again? For which they've invested $4.5 billion. The two companies previously worked together on recent hits, including Joker and American Sniper, as well as the Matrix franchise. I was not aware that they were co-financed with the Joker, but that'd be a shame if they don't continue working together, at least for that respect. Warner Brothers has also been devising various schemes to deprive Village Roadshow of its continuing rights to co-own and co-invest in the derivative works from the films it co-owns. Yeah, that's not good. That'll be interesting to see how that happens then. When Village Roadshow recently refused to give up the rights to a TV series based on the Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt sci-fi flick Edge of Tomorrow, Warner Brothers, according to the suit, said the quiet part out loud. It will not allow Village Roadshow to benefit from any of its derivative rights going forward, despite the over $4.5 billion it has paid to Warner Brothers to make and distribute 91 films. That's pretty bad. This could get really ugly. In other words, if Village Roadshow won't give up the rights, Warner Brothers will make sure they are worth nothing. Fine talk. But getting back to The Matrix Resurrections, for instance, this will be interesting to see how this pans out. this is just tit for tat. It's people trying to get someone to blame because they knew it was a bad film. It took bad money, and they need to get some money back somewhere. Heads are rolling. This is a heads roll situation. It has lost hundreds of millions of dollars, not a small amount, and it's made them a laughing stock. So there you go. What do you guys think though? Let me know down below in the comments. If you're new here, do hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, share it, all that good stuff. Love to have you here more often. Check out my second channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram at Mistakes Reviews. Cheers. Take care.